Good day and welcome to another edition of One-on-One with Swope Health. I am your host, Eric Wesson. Thanks so much for joining us today. We've got a great show planned for you. Our guest today is Mike B. Rollen, and everyone knows Mike from around town, and he started out as a videographer. That's how I first met him, making a video about trash and dirt on the 18th and Vine Jazz District area. And now he's an urban farmer, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Mike, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
So where are you from?
I'm originally from Springfield, Illinois, but grew up in St. Louis.
How'd you get in Kansas City?
I got in Kansas City because my wife lived in Kansas City, and we went to University of Missouri in Columbia. And after graduation, I moved to Kansas City and fell in love with the people of Kansas City, in particular, Vine Street, the Blue Room, the Negro Leagues Museum, that particular area of Black culture, great Black history, and that's one of the reasons I founded Ophelia's Blue Vine Farm at 24th and Vine on Vine Street, because I really wanted to do something amazing for the community, show the community have worth, and really tackle a lot of issues that are in that urban environment, like food insecurity.
Mm-hmm. So when we first met, you were doing a documentary on trash.
Yeah.
And crime in the 18th and Vine area. So you figure if you did something positive there, that would change the mindset of that area?
Yeah. So so that particular film, when I was in film school at Avila, I went back to film school, and I had an opportunity to workshop with a great filmmaker called Albert Maisels, and he invented documentary film, direct cinema. It's just truly just like a pioneer, and he challenged us. This weekend we spent with him workshopping in Arkansas as filmmakers to really do something of important social significance. And so that film turned out to a film called Kansas City Murder Factory. I followed Alvin Brooks around, and we dealt with blight in the community. We dealt with recidivism. We dealt with crime, collapse of a school system, generational homicide, and it really, opened up a lot of people's eyes to a lot of the social issues and how it relates to homicide in particular in Kansas City. So that film went on to really just do some great things and sell out some festivals, but mainly to increase awareness about these problems that we have in the city, these homicide, and live on even after me, even for 10 years after that film has come out, and still it lives to give people the courage to come forward and tell something, that they knew maybe at the time they didn't have the courage to come forward, or they were in a situation they couldn't come forward and tell about a homicide or tell about something injustice or something was done wrong. And so that's really what that film has done. And so as a filmmaker, as a person, I've always had this need to want to help people, to kind of do things that center around social issues, social injustices. And so at the same time, I also started urban farming and fell in love with that, and really just wanted to do what I could in the space that I had,
So you're on Vine Street with the urban farming. So how's that going?
Yeah, it's going great. I felt like God called me to really do this particular project, to be on Vine and to put a greenhouse down there. And I think anywhere else, and I could have put it anywhere, put it in Lee Summit, put it anywhere, but I wanted to put it down there because there, I think it mattered more for people, I think when people drive by and they can see something so beautiful, then really they question them, they ask themselves, yeah, our community does have a lot of value and a lot of worth to it. And it is a beautiful, it is a beautiful thing. And because it is a great community, even though a lot of buildings have been torn down and whatnot. And so also I just wanted to do something that's educational for the kids. At the time, there was a school right across from me, the Wendell Phillips School, and I had envisioned partnering with the kids and having them come over and teaching them at a young age, this is real food. I picked this morning outside Ophelia's, and I planted that for the people in the community and the kids, because I remember spending the summers with my grandmother in Illinois and tending her garden, and they have a family farm. She had a family farm over 100 years old. But I talk about real food versus fake food, and this is real food, what real tomatoes should look like and real tomatoes should taste like. And there's a whole generation of kids and people in general who go up and they don't even know real food from fake food now, And it's even hard for adults to know real food from fake food. That's why I bought a lot of these different cans, because they're different manufacturers, but of the ones that are on the table, these have either a contains bioengineered food in them, or they have a warning label that, the can could contain traces of lead or things that are known to cause cancer in the state of California.
Okay, so what you said, it was what type of food in it?
Bioengineered.
Bioengineered. What does that mean?
Bioengineered. Well, bioengineered is when it's made in a lab, not natural processes, and when you're playing with Mother Nature, basically, And I think that that could have its place, But the problem is when it's presented and people don't know about it, So if we went in a grocery store and we asked 9 out of 10 people, did you know this product had a bioengineered food label? They would more than likely say no. At Ophelia's, we've been selling food, farmers market 10 years. I've never had a person come down and ask me for some genetically modified anything. Not once. Have you ever gone to the grocery store and said, hey, you got some of that GMO in the back? Oh man, I was really looking forward to that GMO.
Okay, so is that, and I don't know if this is a sidebar,
yeah,
but is that like tilapia? I was reading something one day that it dawned on me about tilapia fish. And the guy said, have you ever heard anybody say they went out and caught some tilapia?
Yeah.
It's catfish, it's bluegill, it's bass, but you never hear anybody say they went out and caught any tilapia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess that's what that means. So you've got cream of chicken soup. So is the chicken in there GMO?
Let's find out. Where is it at? Right here. Cream of mushroom soup. Okay. So
I was looking at the cream of chicken, but okay, there's the cream of mushroom.
The cream of mushroom, we'll go with this one. This has, and this says, Campbell Soup Company, Camden, New Jersey, contains bioengineered food ingredients. The ingredients from canola, corn, and soy in this product come from genetically modified crops. Real small, real tiny, So is that what that means?
Yeah,
it's been genetically modified.
So that they're small, but don't you want your crops to be big?
No, it's saying that the seed has been genetically modified.
That grows
it, yeah.
So it's a faster turnover.
And so it's bred to be more resistant to like pests and disease. It's kind of they're doing the Frankenstein thing. really on this. All of this, anytime you get into genetic modification and this type of stuff, they're basically shortcuts, And so, I believe, in the late Henry Block, who would say no shortcuts in life, And so at Ophelia's, we don't take any shortcuts, And so really that's when you get into trouble, when you get to, we want to produce more for less and work easier. The thing about these tomatoes is, they look different than your perfect grocery store tomato,
right?
But these tomatoes haven't been modified. These tomatoes will these are truly vine ripened tomatoes. Okay, and so they're very fragile, and so I'll pick these, and probably every time I move them, I'll lose 10%. You know, they have the tendency to crack, but the flavor is just amazing. You know, the taste is just amazing. You know, and so that's why I think we have a lot of health issues, because we're taking shortcuts. We're genetically modifying stuff so we can spray it with Roundup, and it'll kill the weeds, but it won't kill the food, the corn. You know, but it takes a toll on you. You know, if it's in everything. You know. So,
and you mentioned that. So when you go in the store, you know, it's colorful. The tomatoes are red. Are they healthy, or are they genetically modified as well?
I would say that those, a lot of those tomatoes are bred to be hybrid tomatoes.
What does that mean?
That means the process in which they make the seed from those tomatoes is they're in a way so you can't plant the seed next year and have a tomato that tastes like the one that you bought in the store. So they're a lot of them are F1 hybrids, and so they're bred to. They have one tomato that's really good at not cracking, and then they have one tomato that's flavorful, and then they breed them together, and you get this kind of like
a
flavorless, you know, you get this non-cracking hybrid, yeah. That seed but the seed is a dud, you know, and so you have to go back to them for more seed next year, because if you try to plant it, it's gonna turn back to that green.
Okay, so you've got whole corn there, so that can't be genetically modified.
Well, let's talk about this corn. So outside Ophelia's Bluevine Farm, we also grow corn, and we contract other farmers locally for our corn as well. I have corn growing outside Ophelia's and inside Ophelia's for give people the experience. So when you come by, you can actually see corn on the stalk, how it grows, the silk, the tassel, all of that. The Midwest grows the great, the best corn, the best sweet corn. You know, just amazing corn, just in general. And it's just sad that the price of corn for the farmers is very, very, very low. They're not getting any money. And the big agricultural system is actually importing corn. And so although we can grow it here, we choose not to. And this particular corn, great value corn, and I mean, and when you look at it, you think just awesome. It's just going to be great for you, because it even has great value on it. No salt added. That's just so great. It's no salt.
Right. No more sodium.
But now I'm going to turn it over to the back, and it says, I'm going to read this. Consuming this product can expose you to chemicals, including lead, which are known in the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects for other reproductive harm. For more information, go to www.p65warnings.ca.gov/food. And it says this is a product of Thailand, distributed by Walmart, Bentonville, Arkansas. Okay.
So the lead is in the can.
Well, it doesn't really say. That's what we would think. But I would say, from my experience in urban farming and from what I know, I would say that this is coming from Thailand. It's coming from a place that's probably watering, probably how they do their industrial sewage is going into a river, you know, and they're irrigating from that river, and the plant is going to uptake that. Okay. Plant's going to uptake, and they're going to pass that on for us. That's one of the reasons, or it could be in the can. But I would say that more than likely it is from the practices, because here in the United States we have inspectors, USDA inspectors, who go through, and they can pop up at us at any time. You know. Now when they go to these other countries, or when they go to Mexico, and there's been stories in the news about the inspectors not feeling safe in Mexico and other parts of the country when they pop up. First of all, they know when they're coming. Second of all, they rarely come. You know, and so that has to be a situation where, you know, they're just not doing the same. They don't have the same standards that we have, you know, in the United States. And so
What about the instant soup?
Okay.
Now that can't have any GMO.
Well, let's look at it. Oh, the label came off.
Okay.
Got the label right here.
All right, what we got?
Okay.
Dehydrated vegetables.
Okay. Manufactured in contains wheat, soy, and milk. Manufactured in a facility that processes shellfish and sets. Okay, but underneath that it says contains a bioengineered food ingredient. So it's a bioengineered food ingredient, you know, and I don't think many people know that.
No.
You know.
No. Now, basically, what people know about them is they have a lot of sodium in them with the seasoning, but I don't think people really realize what's really in a lot of things that we. So, is it safer to eat frozen vegetables than canned vegetables? If you can't, grow your own or get down there to Ophelia's.
I would say we definitely want to read what's on the bag or what's on the label. But I think this is a big problem, you know, and I think this is because a lot of small farmers, local farmers and stuff have been pushed out of business, you know. And so when you go to the grocery store and you go to like a Hy-Vee or a Price Chopper and you see there's no lettuce, you know, and that's because these people, they only have so many lettuce providers, you know, and so that may be one provider in the Midwest doing Price Chopper, doing Hy-Vee, doing Aldi, you know, and then they'll say that the label will say, they'll put up a sticker or sign and it'll say the lettuce has been removed out of an abundance of caution, you know. But what they won't tell you that 2 people died, 20 people got sick in all these states, you know, and it really comes back to shortcuts, you know, in corporations not doing the right corporate social responsible thing, cutting corners, not using sanitizing products, not training the people to wash their hands, wash utensils, you know. Maybe their price point is so low that they don't allow that time. Maybe they only have 40 seconds or whatever to bag it, and that time won't allow for the proper checks and things like that it takes. But Eric, and I'm gonna just really get into why I feel so passionate about when I bought this can of corn from Walmart and how hurt I feel, because I try to champion for poor people, for black people in general, you know. And when I look at something like this, it makes me just so angry, because there's this label on the back that says this product can expose you to these chemicals, right? Which means that a whole bunch of men, this has a company brand. So imagine this is my brand. It has my grandmother's name, Ophelia, on it. That means we all sat around a big table. We all had the discussion, and we said that it would be cool. It's cool if we sell this to people, knowing that it can kill them, you know, that it could basically cause cancer, take their life away, you know? So you're stealing from them. But what makes it so bad is we're stealing things. We're stealing their time. We're stealing the thing they can't get back. They can make more money, you know, but it's a shame that to eat organic costs almost 3 times as much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But when you're selling and when you're in certain government programs and whatnot, and let's just say the young woman who has WIC, okay, who only gets certain amount of dollars, right? And already inflation has the dollar is really $3 is really $1 now. You know, we don't, but you know, and so say you only have $100 a month or $200 a month to shop and spend, and you go and you're like, oh, okay, I think this corn is going to be great for the baby, and it's approved, and you take it and you eat it, you know, and it's taking your life, it's taking time off your clock, you know, and you don't even know it. And then they say, oh, there's a sticker on the back. If they really wanted people to know the sticker would be on the front, it would have been a different color, you know, it'd have been in Spanish. They'd have had a whole nother section. They would have a whole nother section, a whole section, maybe it's pink or green, whatever. All this stuff is genetically modified, you know. So I think the problem doesn't really lie in okay, it's been modified, or oh, it contains chemicals that could cause lead or stuff like that. I think is when you do certain stuff because you're chasing $1, you know, and the people don't know it. That's why when I went to PBS and I held this up, they put that clip on there, and that clip had 4 million views, you know, because people couldn't believe we've been working so hard. We've been working 2-3 jobs. We just expect the regulators to do the right thing, the companies to do the right thing, you know, the big agriculture to do the right thing. But as you can see, you know, you can't you know, let them to do the right thing. It has to be regulated.
So you got some grapes over there. You all are growing grapes too?
I got some grapes, yes, I do. So at Ophelia's Blue Vine Farm, I planted these grapes 5 years ago, you know, 2 years ago. They take a very long time to grow. And,
really?
And yes, I planted these, and so these are planted outside the greenhouse, and so they get irrigated with rainwater. The cordon goes underneath the greenhouse, and then they grow up, and they, I have 2 types. These are a green type, and I also have a blue on the other side. But it's beautiful, and it provides a shade, and so we don't have to put any chemical on the greenhouse, or we don't have to put a tarp or anything to bring the heat down when it's 100 degrees. And so it's doing dual purpose, you know. But as far as being on Vine and having people know what real food tastes like, I picked these this morning for you. And anyone who comes to Ophelia's when the grapes are in season, we give these away to give them the experience, you know, because when you know what real food tastes like, what a real tomato tastes like, what a real grape tastes like, you know, there's no coming back from that, you know.
And so when you talk about, because you had mentioned organic, so when you go in the store and you buy things, they say these are organic bananas. What's the difference? Because a banana tastes like a banana to me. I don't notice a difference. So what's the difference between organic fruit, other than the fact it costs more and vegetables than regular fruits and vegetables? That's
a great question. So organic is a term that's kind of been hijacked, you know, because it's a certification that you can get. It's a rather long process, you know. You have to, it's an expensive process to get organically certified. And basically it is, it's an inspection. They're just trying to make sure that you're doing organic practices. So you're not spraying with non-organic chemicals and things like that. But then there's organic certified out of Mexico, you know. And so if we know when the inspectors are coming, is it really an inspection, you know? so organic is tricky, because if non-organic seed is not available, if organic seed is not available, you can use non-organic seed. So it's really tricky as far as what is true organic, you know. I think when you buy from people, or from local farmers, or from people who love what they do, you know, then it speaks for itself, you know, and that's the real beauty.
I always thought it was the soil, so it's not the soil that makes it organic. No. Well, spraying a banana, the banana is in the skin. So why is the organic bananas? Well,
they don't want, like, if you spray and a lot of them do, they spray the bananas with a chemical that prevents like bugs and stuff from getting in there, kind of like on corn. And so when we sell our corn, we don't spray it with anything. And so I'll open up the ears and I'll show people, I'll say, this is organic, you know, and if you open it, you may see a worm in here. You know, we'll throw an extra ear in for you, you know, but that's a good thing. If you open it up and you don't see any worms or anything, then a chemical has been put on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then these are, I don't know if you know, I'll pass these over here. I didn't even know if you want to even taste one of those for the camera, but they have seeds. They have seeds in them.
Do they?
And that's a great thing to have.
These are good.
To have seeds.
They got seeds in them.
To have seeds in them. But you know what? That's healthy for you. Grapeseed extract, you know.
You wash these off with rainwater?
They've never been washed.
Oh, all right.
They've never been.
Well, they're organic.
They're organic because the greenhouse is plastic. And so nothing gets in there. And then they're irrigated. So they are irrigated, the cordon goes outside the greenhouse. And so when it rains, the sides of my greenhouse are mulched heavily with wood. And so we we take the water, the wood absorbs it, soaks it in, and so the grapevine pulls the water, pulls the nutrients, so we don't have to worry about nothing's been sprayed on those, nothing's been they haven't gotten touched by anything, actually.
So, do they get bigger?
They can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they can get bigger. The more grapes you have, the bigger that they get, you know? So right now, we're in a process of trellising those grapes. And so
what does that mean?
Well, that means we need the vine to go another 30 feet this way before we cut it, and before we really start limiting the clusters of grapes, because we want to create a canopy, a living canopy that shades the entire greenhouse naturally on the outside. So it would be like, have you ever went into the woods on a hot day?
Yes.
And you can just sit down there underneath a tree. It could be 100 degrees, and so we want to create that effect, and so we're creating that effect in the greenhouse. And so we did that one year. We cut the cord on, and we lost a year because the plant freaks out and it stops growing as fast. You know.
Because it thinks something is wrong.
Because it thinks something is wrong. Yeah, it stunts the plant, and so yeah. If you want more, we tell people you'll just have to come. We'll just have to come back.
So do you have classes where you teach people how to grow vegetables? Because that's not really that easy. Just put some seeds out and come back. And because I know Dave, our friend Dave, he grows maybe 3 tomatoes and 2 peppers a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and he thinks he's really doing something.
Yeah, we'd like to do more classes. In fact, next year we are going to do. The end of this year we are going to do more classes. But a lot of our online learning we give away for free on our website, Ophelia's Blue Vine Farm, and Ophelia'sBlueVineFarm.com, and we have a YouTube page, Ophelia's Blue Vine Farm, on YouTube. So we've got 305 videos. So you can pretty much become a master gardener. You go back and watch all my videos. I explain, we show you how I built that greenhouse on the corner. We show you how we plant stuff. You can see us growing watermelon from a seed, putting it in trays, transplanting it to out in the field to where we're picking it. So we've done all these educational videos, giving back the knowledge, giving away the knowledge. So
is the fruit there for sale, or you just donate it, or?
Yeah, so we do sell the food. So the grapes, we'll give away the grapes, and then we do sell, and we've got some really great prices on tomatoes. I think right now the seasoned tomatoes are like $4 a pound. We've got corn $1 a ear, cucumbers $1. We're trying to really get Vine Street off as another alternative to a farmer's market, you know. And so we're one of the only places people can come down and get green tomatoes. But I love it because we give them the experience, if they want to pick the tomato themselves. And for me, that's just so enjoyable, you know, giving people that experience to pick something, to taste something, to see how stuff grows. We have so many people who have come back over the years, and they'll say, you've inspired us to start our own garden or really go at it this year. Or, you know, we've had a couple of homeless people who actually we've kicked work to over the years who have gotten the housing, and you told us that you've inspired us to you know, get back on our feet again, you know. And all that's documented on our YouTube channel, Ophelia's Blue Vine Farm.
Okay, one last question, and then I want you to give people the address. How is it that some grapes have seeds in them and some don't? Like watermelons. Watermelons, some have seeds, some don't. How does that happen?
Okay. So the grapes are tricky because some years you can have like Concord. Some years some grapes will be seed. The grapes will have seeds in them, and some years they won't. You know, but typically you have the seedless grape. You have seeded grapes and the seedless grapes. We love the seeded grapes, you know, because they've got that seed in them, and that seed is healthy for you. As far as
they're juicier and sweeter. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah,
sweeter. As far as the watermelons, it's rather tricky because they have 2 different types of watermelons, and by planting them together, they have different chromosomes, and they create a watermelon that produces a seed. But then when you plant that seed, that watermelon doesn't have any seeds in it. So
which one is healthier, seedless or
I would say
seed?
The data says, well, there's a lot of, I'm not a scientist, there's a lot of data out there that says there is no difference.
Okay.
I personally, you talk to Farmer Mike personally, I don't believe that to be true. I would say I'm more a proponent to, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The old school, the heirloom stuff, the old school watermelons, the black diamond watermelons. But when you look at the seedless watermelons, you look at an easier watermelon to grow. Let's be truthful. And all of this stuff is because people want it easy. But you know what they say, Eric? Easy come,
easy go.
Easy go. Most watermelons we grow some Congos, we grow some yellow meat, we grow crimson is 85 days, but a lot of them are 120 days. Mm-hmm. That's a long time. 130 days, that's a long time to be in the field. That's almost the entire summer. Mm-hmm. And so in all that time, you're keeping people from stealing it. You're keeping raccoons from eating it. You're keeping the flood from taking it if the field gets too wet. But we've got some great watermelons. I've got a couple that I've grown that we brought back from helped bring back from, they were almost extinct, And so we're growing those. We got a couple of those this year that weren't meant for shipping, real fragile. But the best stuff takes time. The best stuff is fragile. The best stuff is unique. And so we're just going back to growing the heirloom stuff, the older stuff, the proven stuff, and the stuff we know it's been healthy.
I saw a watermelon a couple of weekends ago. It was $28.
Yeah.
$28. Tell people where you're located at on Vine.
We're at 24th and Vine, 2416 Vine, and we do a farmer's market in season from on Saturdays from noon until 7 p.m. So most people don't have those hours. Most farmers markets are early, 7 and they're out by noon, But we're in a different space and we have a different model. What I've learned over the years, Eric, just like you can't be like everybody else.
That's right. That's right. You sure can. Mike B. Rollen was our guest today. Thanks, Mike, for joining us. The crew that we've got here, let's come and have some of these grapes and tomatoes and enjoy ourselves. These grapes are really good, though.
Thank you.
I'm telling you. As always, I've got the greatest audience in the world. Till next week, remember, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Until next week, peace.